Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It's very cold this morning. I mean, it's gonna warm up. I think maybe we'll hit 50 Fahrenheit today, but it was 26 when I woke up this morning, and it's still only in the low 30s right now. Everything's still frozen in the garden, but I have very crunched time frames today. And yesterday was Sunday, and it rained most of the day, so I didn't get anything done outdoors. So I want to get as much of these wood chips moved as possible, but I also am in the process of dealing with multiple school schedules because my youngest has a migraine this morning, so he's going in late, and then my oldest only has 5 classes this year since he's a senior, so I pick him up early and then I go back to get the other one. It's kind of crazy, but I also have sourdough started, and I have, I don't know, hundreds of seeds to start. This is week 5, and it is a huge amount of seeds that I've got to get started this week. So I want to start on that today. It's going to continue to be in the, for us, the next couple nights in the mid-20s. So that's quite cold. I think at this point I might try to get a long extension cord and rig up the heater for the greenhouse, because even with bottom heat, I don't even know if they'll germinate. It'll get warmer towards the end of the week, and we're gonna get some more rain again. So I don't know, we'll see. But I'm really cold, so I'm gonna get started moving these wood chips. I know I'll warm up as I move them. But yeah, I wanna get started doing that, try to wrap this up. They're all going down into the chicken run, so it should be pretty quick because it's just back and forth and dumping. No, like, you know, shoveling it out into various places and spreading it around. It's just going to sit out there in a heap for right now, so that should make it a lot easier. Okay, let's get to work. Voila, and voila. That wasn't too bad. Took about an hour and 15 minutes, and that is definitely my workout for the day. But it's done. And so now next steps, other than obviously I have the compost to deal with, but next steps for the chicken run is to build this fence wall here and add in a gate. So the fence will come in the front here, and then we'll put a gate so that we can get in and out. Then it'll be raked out and it'll be ready for chickens come spring. Now that all of that is done, moving all the wood chips, I've been able to take a shower because I was really gross. And I'm halfway through stretching and folding my sourdough bread that's going to get baked tomorrow. And I also just started some dough for some hamburger rolls because we're going to have pulled pork tomorrow. So these are, you have to get it started today. It'll bake in the oven tomorrow. Anyway, these are the seeds that I need to start. There's a lot of them. It's going to take me a couple days, I think. So they're in mostly alphabetical order. Some of these are for the farm, and some of them are for the home garden. Most of them, I think, are flowers for the farm. So I need to start Amimagus. also known as Queen Anne's lace. Here's a line drawing from Floret. This is a wonderful filler flower that is useful in lots of forms because if you cut it, with the full flower, Queen Anne's lace, it's beautiful, but then as it dries, the seed head is really cool too. So it can be a really cool element in bouquets. And then I have Purple Queen and Ocean Pearl agrostemma. That needs to get started. Calendula. I wasn't going to start any of these, but this is Bronze Beauty. This is one that I don't have. I'm going to put this in both the farm and in my cottage garden because I need some new kind of perennials in there. I'm also starting ageratum. I have red flint. Here's what that one looks like. Ageratum, pretty cool. First time growing it last year, and it had really short stems, but I think that was because of when I planted it. I think I put it in too soon because as the season went on, the stems got longer. So I'm going to plant it a little bit later this year. And I also have a timeless mix of ageratum. Also starting for the first time this year, something called Apple of Peru. Again, a really cool filler. And I'm looking forward to growing that because I haven't done it before. Sweet Annie, Artemisia. Those, again, wonderful greenery. I love the smell. It is amazing. It's really hard to describe. Citrusy, but kind of honey-like. It's really wonderful. And then moving on to asters. I have Matsumoto Apricot, Tower Yellow, Bonita Mix, Daylight Mix. And then I'm going to start some more Orlea. I have Orlea growing in the front garden. It's doing great, but I want to put some out at the farm and do another succession. And then I have some bee balm. So I've got this Spillarton mix here, really beautiful. This is for the, I'll put some in the pollinator patch up front, I'll put some in the cottage garden and at the farm. And then another variety just called Bee Balm Wild Bergamot. Okay, and then I've got some carrots here. Let's see, St. Valerie, this is actually a free seed. I've got 2 packets of it from Baker Creek, and another one called Pusa Aceta Black. Still not having great luck with carrots, but I'm not going to give up. I know I'll crack the code at some point. Okay, Celosia, the next one I'm going to start. This is my first succession of Celosia. I have Selway Terracotta. I just love those peaches, apricot, terracotta colors. Celosia Pampas Plume, another one of my very favorites. Chief Persimmon Fruit Punch. This is a coxcomb variety, but as you can tell by the color name, Fruit Punch, a very bright zingy color. And then I have an interesting variety called Asian Garden. This is very different, and I don't know if it'll work for cutting. I just don't know how tall the stems are going to be, but I'm going to give it a try. Also starting Century Red and Century Salmon Pink. Going to get started on cilantro. I have a coleus mix here. I love coleus. They're so cool. You can use them in so many ways I mean, they're an annual, but I just love them. And then starting Cosmos as well, because I'm doing a bunch for a client, and then I'll also put some in various places, both at the farm and here. I have Cupcakes Blush, Double Dutch Rose, Click Snow Puff, Double Click Snow Puff. This is a very dense white Cosmos. Apricota, which is very, very popular. Cupcakes White, Rubenza, and Sensation Mix. Oh, here's what apricota looks like since I had that one before. Beautiful. All right. Also, starting with some Craspedia. I had some luck with this last year, but basically it got completely kind of forgotten, so I want to give it a dedicated spot and spend time with it. 2 types of cress. I have emerald beads and Atraxa. Cress is a really great filler and greenery. More pink dandelion. This was so beautiful last year, and I want more of it. And then the dianthus. This is also my first time growing in large amounts. I grew some black cherry dianthus last year, but these are going to have dedicated bed space in the high tunnel. This is Chabot Orange Sherbet. God, it just sounds so good, right? Marie Chabot, Dianthus Chabot Jean Dionys, Chabot Benigna, Chabot La France, and Chabot Picoté Double Mix. All right, Echinacea. Got some green twister. I failed taking care of those specific seedlings last year, and I don't want to do that again because I really think it'd be cool. Got to get my eryngium started. I've got white glitter and blue glitter here, I believe. Eryngium, yes. And this is what, it's also known as sea holly. That's what it looks like. It's really cool, excellent dried as well. Another first time growing, but this is supposed to be amazing and it will be perennial for me here, is Euphorbia Snow on the Mountain. And then I'm gonna grow some lobelia, trailing lobelias, because I wanna do some hanging window boxes here at home. So I have a Blue Heaven and Cascade of Color. All right, marigolds. I'm gonna do multiple successions of these as well. Joshi Orange, which I already grew last year. Those are the ones that hung out in the front garden for a long time. Huge, beautiful orange heads. Cocoa Mix and Kilimanjaro White. Those are gorgeous. Here's a photo of them. And let's see, what else have I got? And Cocoa Gold. And then more Rudbeckia triloba, Black Pansy, Black Devil Pansy. And the last seed I need to start is more lamb's ear. So you can see that's going to be a lot of work. That's just week 5. I think week 8 is one of my biggest weeks because I start most of my seedlings for tomatoes and peppers and stuff that I'm going to be selling for the vegetable garden in a box, as well as a lot of the flowers for the cutting garden in a box that I do for local customers. So it's going to be a lot. And pretty soon I'm going to be starting sunflowers. It's hard to believe that it's January. Well, it's the end of January and I'm already talking about sunflowers, but you know, I have to sow those weekly. So yesterday I actually completely reorganized my planting plans, because the original ones that I had done in like September, and that was before everything fell apart with the farm and I had ended up planting my home garden with flowers. And so I needed to rework everything. That took a while, lots of shifting around of little strips of paper. If you want to know how I set up my garden plan, you can check out the video I have linked below, and that is basically my paper and pencil version of garden maps and how I plan everything out to make sure that I get everything that I'm growing, all the seedlings that I'm starting, into the ground and where they need to go. Lots of people have different methods. This is a method that works well for me because I'm a hands-on person. I like to see it. Then it's just there in my head. So, okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up for today. You guys have seen me start seeds before. I'm going to try to get some of these started, but I think what I'm going to have to do, and it's only 42 degrees outside right now, but I think I'm going to have to wash a bunch of trays before I can start these, because I need to put them in the big trays, and I have a stack of those to wash. So I'm going to look around and see if I can find some of those heavy-duty rubber gloves, like the really thick ones. It doesn't give me a lot of dexterity, but at least it'll keep my hands from freezing, hopefully, in between stretching and folding my sourdough for tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. I would love to hear about what seeds you are starting. Are you starting any seeds this week? I know I'm in zone 9 and, you know, I'm getting an early start, but I know plenty of people in zones 8 and 7 are starting some seeds. I do not do winter sowing, but a lot of you do. So I'd love to hear about it. Thanks again so much for joining me. I hope you have a great time in your garden, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.